By first light on the North York moors, it was already clear why police had warned people not to attempt these exposed routes. The driver of this car had been out surveying the state of the roads for a bus company. His conclusion? They weren't safe.
I was only going about 20, I think just about over there, there was a patch of black ice and just came straight down into the ditch.
And you've been here since when?
Just after 5 o'clock, and it's now, what, 5 to 9?
Amid an amber weather warning, those on the main road into Scarborough didn't fare much better. But it was northern Scotland that again experienced the heaviest snowfall overnight. They're just more used to dealing with it. Although it did close more than 100 schools, with another 50 shut in Wales as temperatures dropped to as low as -6. Even in Cornwall, where it hardly ever snows, drivers were being urged to take extra care.
People get into their cars and see that it's maybe 1 or 2 degrees and think it's fine. Quite often the road surface temperature is a good 2 or 3 degrees lower, so you may still come across icy conditions.
But for some, the slippier the better. A snow day this early in the school year has those lucky enough to get one wanting more.
We love snow, and I didn't know it was going to snow today, so I'm very excited. I hope it doesn't melt. That's what I want, it not to melt.
Why not?
Because then you can still play with it. And we don't want to have to go to school tomorrow either.
But the forecast suggests she may be disappointed.
That's because the weather warnings for snow around the country all expire tonight. The concern now is for ice. There are warnings in place for much of the east coast, the far north of Scotland and Cornwall, but it may be a relief to many, perhaps not those children, that it is expected to turn milder again by the weekend.
Time for the weather now. Joe is in Doncaster tonight. Joe, it's looking very festive there, but also pretty cold.
Very chilly. The first cold snap of the season has taken a little bit of a toll on us over the last couple of days. It feels really chilly, and of course we've seen snow in places across the UK. And for us here at the Yorkshire Wildlife Park this evening, you'd be forgiven for feeling just a little bit festive. The winter illumination is keeping us cosy this evening. No snow on the ground here, but other parts of the UK, as we know, over the last couple of days and nights have had some significant snowfall. If you take a look at these pictures here, we can see parts of the UK have seen lots of snowfall over the last couple of days and nights, and even the coastline. Bridlington this afternoon, 4 or 5 centimetres. Unusual for coast to see those wintry showers coming in and settling. Parts of northern Scotland, around 10 centimetres of snow over the last 24 hours. And by the end of tonight, parts of the North York moors could even see perhaps 12 or 13 centimetres of snow. So it's certainly been rather snowy for parts of the UK. Others have seen nothing, just a dusting at times. But for all of us, it has been very cold. Last night, the coldest night of the season so far, with temperatures in Benson in Oxfordshire falling to -6.6 Celsius. And tonight, I think we're going to go even lower. Where there's lying snow on the ground across northern Scotland, it's quite possible. In sheltered spots, it'll get down to around -11 or -12. Not much snow in the forecast going forward, but ice is going to be something to watch out for over the next few hours or so tonight and tomorrow. So we have warnings in place, a raft of warnings, chiefly where we've seen that snowfall over the last 12 to 24 hours. It could be a little bit tricky on the roads tonight and for tomorrow. Here's the forecast. It is going to be frosty quite widely across the UK tonight, with icy conditions as we head through into tomorrow. Something to be aware of if you're out and about on the roads first thing tomorrow morning. Settling down for many of us tomorrow, with plenty of sunshine to come, but feeling very chilly. Temperatures will get a little bit of a lift into this weekend. It is going to turn more unsettled, but it won't feel quite as cold. In a bit more detail then, pressure-wise, as we take a look at this evening and into tomorrow, you can see fronts out to the west beginning to approach, heralding the start of something less cold from tomorrow night into Saturday and for the weekend, but more unsettled, with rain beginning to move in for some of us through the first part of the weekend. Back to this evening's details, it is certainly going to be very cold, quite widely down to around freezing and below, and perhaps -10, -11 in sheltered parts of the north before tomorrow morning. Icy conditions, something you really need to watch out for if you're travelling first thing tomorrow. Where there's been any moisture on the road, sleet, hail, snow, it is going to freeze and become very icy through tonight. Some fairly light winds as we get to tomorrow morning. Beautiful blue skies for many of us, and it really will be very pretty where that lying snow is, but very cold to start the day tomorrow. A generally dry day. Later on perhaps we'll see cloud building from the west, and by tea time into western Scotland and Northern Ireland there'll be some rain beginning to move in, and that's the beginning of something more unsettled that will develop through the weekend, with rain beginning to move in, and next week isn't looking quite as cold for any of us.